Hello, welcome to my video blog. I should make an apology for everybody who doesn't know me outside of a screen, because I've heard in the past that my voice is the wrong voice for my face. Obviously this is a source of great grievance for me. Soz, get over it, khalas. Today, what I would like to talk about is old stuff that I love and new stuff that I hate, with a very special mention to the Shard. My favourite place in the whole of London is the British Museum, and my favourite place in the museum is the Parthenon Galleries. Obviously a gallery with bits of the Parthenon in it. They got there because people who lived in my country before me went to other countries we used to own, stole bits of the buildings that they liked, put them on a boat, brought them back to London, and proceeded to build a new building in which to put bits of old buildings. Obviously my problem with this is, why didn't they build a Sphinx? Because, you know, there's one thing I hate more than anything about life, it's that I have to travel 3,510.8 miles to see a Sphinx. That is not fair on anybody. I'd like one in my garden, but I wouldn't mind one in Holborn either. We have all the things that they had in the ancient times to build buildings, minus slaves, and some other stuff. We have machines and cranes and Nandos. We have orange squash and lots of things. We could just build a new one. The reason why we don't have one is trade unions, and I could also pin it on the Turner Prize, but that's a whole other blog of hate. I don't think you should be awarded a prize for being shit, but the trade unions, which are awful institutions, they're socialist and they're awful, which are not mutually exclusive, but a lot of the time they are. They ruin lives, they've ruined my life on at least 2 occasions. 2.5 occasions. Now, I don't know if the Israelite slaves who built the pyramids had a trade union. The Bible doesn't mention it. It doesn't mention the presence of a trade union, but in the past, when I have used the Bible as a historical source, I've been accused of being a fundamentalist. So the Israelites might have had a trade union. They didn't have a trade union. That's why they were able to build cool stuff like a Sphinx, and why now we've managed to build a gherkin and a shard. It just summarises our generation. Just ugly, functional and ugly. There's no thought in what's being built anymore. It saddens me. Nobody's asking, what does that building say? Like, if the shard could talk, it would just be saying, oh, I'm tall. It would be a twat and everybody would hate him. I hate the shard. For anybody out there who hasn't seen the shard is like this. And this is a well thought out metaphor. You're looking at this, you're experiencing the shard right now. This is St Paul's Cathedral, this is the Houses of Parliament, and this little piggy over here is the Tower of London. This fucking monstrosity, I made a mistake, I swore, oops, is the shard. And this is what it does to the London skyline, and this is what it does to me whenever I see it and I want to punch it. But I can't because it's hard. However, in the interest of having a balanced argument with myself, I have 2 good things to say about the shard. First of all, it's the biggest building to advocate women's rights, because had a woman been charged with building the shard, you would not have had the shard that we have today, and that is a good thing. It is because no woman in her right mind is going to sit in a boardroom and say, what I really want to do is build a huge, tall, glass, phallic-shaped object. I want it to be bigger than any other phallic-shaped object in the whole of Europe by at least 30 metres. And then I want to stick it in London just in time for the Olympics, so that everybody can see my huge glass shaft. Because no woman would say that. I'm not going to say what a woman would say because I don't want to generalise or stereotype my own gender as I just have for the other gender, soz. The other good thing I have to say about the Shard is that up the Shard is probably the only place in London you can go where you don't have to look at the Shard. The Shard's slogan should be, come up the Shard where you don't have to see the Shard. I would go. I would go. I would really go. The other thing, additional bonus third thing, friends of mine who've been to the Shard and who know my opinions on the Shard come up to me and they're like, man, the Shard is so shit, like you have to pay to go up it. And I'm like, did you go up? And they're like, well, yeah. You paid to go in an elevator. If you pay to go in an elevator, you deserve to pay to go into an elevator because you're an idiot. End of. Stop being an idiot. The Shard spells out everything that's wrong with modern architecture. It's just a sort of mine is bigger than yours race between sort of developing capitals and capitals that are already quite nice and beautiful who feel threatened by the other capitals' tall, phallic objects. Pathetic. My main source of architectural information is Grand Design. It's a fantastic show. Shout out to Kevin MacLeod if you're watching. But it sums up what's wrong with people. Nobody on the show is going to be like, well, Kevin, I want to have all of the members of my family engraved, immortalised in marble. And I want to have huge, 3 feet wide pillars holding up my 150 feet tall marble roof. On that roof, I want to have immortalised, again, in marble, my late cat, Fluffy. I've actually plaster casted my own cat for the purposes of this. It was quite distressing. That doesn't happen anymore. That's what's wrong with the world, because what you get instead is this. This is because everybody on Grand Designs has a baby, and the baby has to have a house by November. What's really important to me is that the wood for the house is locally sourced because I am very concerned about my environmental footprint. I want this house to be sustainable. I want it to blend in with the environment. I've chosen to use a mixture of straw and my own belly button fluff to insulate the property. I don't believe in importing insulating material from China. Everything in the farm has been provided for using wind power. If we don't use the power of the wind, the earth will die. You're an idiot. I would very much like the opportunity to shoot them. I want to have your new house for the arrival of baby number 5. Nobody's saying like, right, what I really want is an office block for 130 years' time. Just plan ahead. Plan ahead by at least 100 years, because if you want a nice one, that's what you have to do. Blame the trade unions. And if you are a trade union and you want a building, do it in the forest. Yeah, that's what I think of you. Have your meetings in a forest, because that's easy and quick and requires no labour. I have one more Shard related tale of a acquaintance who has been to the Shard at least once, and he told me that men's bathrooms in the Shard, the urinals are against a glass panel from which you can see the whole of London, hence it feels like you're pissing on London. A very good metaphor for the Shard. I very much doubt it was an architectural accident. I think that the designer of the Shard, who is a cock, is just laughing at what has happened to beauty. Subscribe if my parents are watching. Sorry, I think I said twat and cock and possibly shit, but my room is tidy. I love you. Everyone else, cheers. Bye.